And we are live, so at 5 o'clock you may commence the meeting.
Thank you. It's a few seconds before that, so I'll just wait till my clock says 5. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Committee of Adjustment meeting for August 11th, 2020. And just before we get started, I'm going to do some introductions here for everyone following along. And as I start with, we have Member Clark, welcome, and Member Allen, Member Martin, and Member Allwood. And I'm Member McQueen, and I'll be chairing today's Committee of Adjustment. Along with some staff, we have, who do we have here? We have Planner Rapke and Planner Brenner, and we also had our Secretary Treasurer, Cassandra Dillman. So again, welcome everyone, and again, welcome those who are watching also along. Okay, so we have an agenda that has been printed on our calendar sheet on our website, along with in front of members tonight. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest with regards to today's meeting? Okay, seeing none. We do have a set of minutes from July 14th, 2020. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please, for those? Member Martin, Member Allen. Okay. Is there any errors or omissions? Member Allen.
I'll let Member Allwood say it, because we're probably going to say the same thing.
Okay, well, I don't want you to first, so go ahead, Member Allwood.
Right, but on item 5.2 of the minutes there, I noticed that my vote was left off. I did vote to support that item 5.2.
And I can verify that. Yes, you did. So we'll make that slight change.
Thank you.
You were there, everything but having your name written down.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any other errors or omissions? Okay. Seeing none. All in favor of those minutes? That is carried. All right. So then moving along then, let me just go back to my agenda here. Hang on. So we have, there's no deferred files for this evening, so we're moving on. So our next file is, I get my going here, is A05-2020, and I understand that the individual is going to be on the telephone listening in, so that's good. And so I'll just read off the regulations here. So this public meeting was called under section, so this is for item A05-2020, Davison, part lot 39, concession 7, ARTEMESIA. So this public meeting was called under section 45 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, as amended with respects to an application for a minor variance. File A05-2020 affecting lands owned by Patricia Davison and described as being part lot 39, concession 7, ARTEMESIA, as in GS 110110, secondly, Gray Highlands, civic address 407-127 Gray Road 4. The notice of this public meeting was mailed by standard mail on the 17th day of July 2020 to the property owner and to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property, in addition to all agencies and persons identified in the Planning Act. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or make written submissions to the municipality of Gray Highlands before the minor variance is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the municipality of Gray Highlands to the local planning appeals tribunal. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at tonight's public meeting or make written submissions to the municipality of Gray Highlands before the minor variance is passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to a hearing of an appeal before the local planning appeals tribunal, unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. It is important to note that if you wish to be mailed a copy of the notice of decision, and you do not live within 120 meters of the subject property, you must provide your request in writing to the planning department of the municipality of Pecuniary Highlands. Electronic registration does not represent your written request. Staff can provide direction to you in applying and writing for a request for this notice. At this time, the municipal planner will explain the purpose and the effect of the proposed minor variance, read the planning report, and advise of any comments received. And I guess Planner Rapke, you're going to take on to this file?
I am.
And welcome.
Thanks.
Floor is yours.
Okay. The proposed variance seeks relief from the municipality of Grey Highlands zoning bylaw to permit the construction of an attached garage. The applicant has requested relief from section 7.3.2 rural residential zone provisions as follows. Subsection C, they're requesting a maximum lot coverage of 14%, whereas the bylaw imposes a maximum of 10%. Subsection D, a minimum front yard setback of 8.2 meters, whereas the bylaw requires 17 meters. Subsection E, minimum interior side yard setback of 2.9 meters, whereas the bylaw requires 6 meters. Overview of the application. The subject lands are located 5 kilometers west of Maxwell on Highway 4. The lands are approximately 1,430 square meters with a lot frontage of 31 meters. The entire property is zoned rural, although due to the lot being less than 1 hectare, the rural residential regulations apply. The proposal involves building an attached garage on the west side of the house. An attached garage previously existed in the exact proposed building footprint. The previous garage has already been demolished. The new garage will be slightly further from the interior side yard lot line than the previous garage, so it will be less of an interior side yard setback encroachment because it's a couple feet narrower. It will have the same front yard setback as the previous garage, and it'll be slightly taller than the previous garage in order to match the roof line of the house. If the proposed development involved only increasing the height of the existing structure or renovating what was the existing structure, there would be no relief required. But because the way the bylaws worded, a complete removal of a structure, a replacement is not inherently permitted without a minor variance like we're doing right now. The original structure needed to be completely demolished because its condition was too poor to renovate it, which is why we're at where we are now. A small 10-foot by 6-foot deck is also proposed off the rear of the house. The deck adds about 5.5 square meters to the lot coverage and accounts for approximately 9% of the required relief. It should also be noted that construction of the entire property is subject to a holding provision due to the proximity of the provincially significant wetland across the road. Planning staff are recommending that considerations of the environmental impact of the proposal be constrained to the lift of hold decision, since that's the primary function of that process. And regardless of the decision tonight on the minor variance, it can't proceed until the lift of hold is granted. My analysis found that it met all 4 tests of the minor variance. Comments from various agencies: Grey County Planning and Development. Transportation Services noted that the proposed garage is not going to be any closer to the road allowance than the existing building. There's no concerns, provided positive comments are received from the Conservation Authority. The Conservation Authority generally has no objection. This is very solvable to the subject application, as they're not anticipated to negatively impact the regulated area, natural hazard, or significant natural heritage features. The building department noted that building permits will be required and they must comply to applicable law, and all other agencies had no concerns or no comments. Planning staff have found the application has met the test of the variance and are recommending that the application be approved.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Rapke, for that. Very thorough planning report. Any questions from committee members with regards to that report? Okay, hearing none at this time. At this time, the committee will hear any presentation from the applicant or their agent. And I understand that Pat Davison is going to be on the line, and I wonder if she has anything to add.
It's okay, Paul.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello, Paul. It's Paul Mullen here, Paul, for Pat. I don't have anything to add to it as far as I know. It's just, I think a garage for Pat that would help her in the winter to keep her car clear of snow and that. So, and because of the other garage that was taken off, wasn't suitable to renovate. We just got ahead of ourselves a little bit in taking it down. So,
Right.
Other than that, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, well, thank you. There may, I'll see if there's any questions from the committee members, so just stay on the line there, please. Is there any questions from committee members with the applicant or their agent that has just spoken? Any questions? Looks pretty straightforward. Cassandra, you have a comment?
Just one point of clarification. Paul, and
Paul Mullen?
sorry, Paul Mullen.
Yep.
Is that his last name?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And just for the record, okay, so, okay. Yeah, I would say, Paul, you did a very, very clear and very detailed plan there, I must say. You did a lot of work with what you presented there, so very nice. Seeing there's no questions here from committee members at this time, I'll see if there's anybody from the public that has any comments. So please just stay on the line. Any person present wishing to object or support the proposed minor variance, please indicate and state their name and address. So, Secretary Treasurer Dillman, do we have anybody on the line that wishes to speak to this, whether in favor or opposed to it?
I'll just remind that if anybody is on the line
Okay.
through the phone, to press star and 9 to raise their hand. No one has indicated that they wish to speak.
Okay, very good. So I don't see anybody, so I thank you for that. And any further comments from committee members with regards to the proposed minor variance? Member Allwood?
Just confirming, should the variance be granted, there would still be the lift of hold that would have to be granted also, right?
That's correct. I'll get that clarity from Planner Rapke and Mr.
Thank
Rapke.
you.
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll come back to council for that lift to hold. So, and I guess time frame on that would be at the next council meeting if this is supported at this or approved at this meeting, Planner Rapke. Mr. Rapke.
Got the calendar here. Give me a minute to scroll through.
I think the next council meeting is, I think is it the 2nd of September? Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
So that would be proposed for that date then. There should be time. Okay. Okay, so any further, sorry, Member Martin? Go ahead.
Just another confirmation for the planner. The proposed deck that's on the back, that's factored into the lot coverage percentages that you gave us?
That is correct. So of the 10% is the maximum allowed in that zone inherently. They're needing about 4, and 9% of the 4 is required for the deck. So when I say it constitutes 9% of the required relief, it's only of that 4%, right?
Because the garage is not going to impede what was legal non-conforming any further, if I'm reading it correctly?
Go ahead.
The deck is a new addition. So the lot coverage for the deck would kind of be an additional new thing. It doesn't encroach on the setback the way the garage does, though.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from committee members? Okay, so again, this is for a minor variance. So I'm going to go around and your position on these files. Member Allen?
I support.
Okay. Member Martin?
Sorry, I approve.
Okay. Member Clark?
I support.
Member Allwood?
I support.
Okay, seeing it met the 4 tests of a minor variance, I also supported this application. This file has been carried, subject to a 20-day appeal period. If there are no appeals during that time, you may proceed with the project as you wish. Do you have any further questions, I guess, to you, Paul Mullen or Pat Davison?
Russ have any?
So there's just a 20-day appeal period, and the lift the hold is going to go toward, hopefully go toward council for September 2nd, and that's with regards to the deck. So that 20-day appeal period is just if there's any appeals. There's nobody speaking tonight, so probably it's hard to know. There's still that appeal period. So, but it has been supported.
Okay, that's great. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Okay, you're quite welcome, and thank you for phoning in. Okay, can you take care? And so as far as our agenda, is there any other business then for committee members? So I think just maybe, Madam Secretary Treasurer, there was some training events that were happening. That's passed now, I think, hasn't it? Did anybody take part of those that was offered by the Committee of Adjustment, the Association of Committee of Adjustments? Did anybody take those?
I believe Member Martin has
Okay,
done
good.
some of the training, and they should be available until the 1st of September, I believe.
September 1st, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess to you, Member Martin, anything that we missed from previous training sessions at Committee of Adjustment conference, or did you quite found it was quite beneficial?
I always find the training beneficial. I don't think there's any wasted education. A lot of it, some of it was very specific marijuana grow-ups and things like that, which we don't tend to deal with at Committee of Adjustments level, but there's always some good information.
Okay. So
and I could probably hand the Secretary Treasurer the handouts that I have from them if she wants to circulate them to everybody else. Some of them did come with handouts, so.
No, that would be great, and I think that I find their training is always very thorough, and it's always some things you maybe know of. It's always good to get a refresher as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's just for the rest of you out there. You can committee members, you can sign up and do that, or we can wait and we'll get some of that stuff through our Secretary Treasurer with regards to the handouts for sure. Okay, so it looks like our next meeting is September 8th, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly busy meeting. There are 7 files, and that's a healthy meeting. That's getting back to the ways years and years ago, eh, Dave, when it used to be 7 and 10 files sometimes, you know. So there's a lot of things happening out there, and that's all good for Grey Highlands for sure. Is there any other items before we move to adjournment from committee members or staff? All right, seeing none, I guess I'll have somebody wishes to signify. There we are. Noted motion to adjourn by Mr. Clark. All in favor? That's carried. Well, everybody have a good evening, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody on again the 8th of September, and enjoy the rest of the summer. It's been a good one. So bye for now.
Fine, thank you.
And thanks for coming out, Dave.
Thank you. Take care.